we come to chapter 7. In chapter 7, we shall learn about Laplace transform. Laplace transform was introduced by French mathematician Laplace, who made use of transform integral in his work on probability theory in 1780. Later, Heaviside, an English electrical engineer, popularized the use of Laplace transform as a mathematical tool in solving linear differential equations arising in electrical circuit. So, in this chapter we shall learn about Laplace transform, and this chapter is divided into 5 modules. So, in first module we give the introduction how Laplace transform comes. We shall derive Laplace transform from Fourier integral theorem. We know that capital Gs equal to 1 by root 2 pi integral minus infinity to plus infinity small gx e to the power I s x dx. So, capital Gs is the Fourier transform of the function small gx. Then small gx is given by the inverse transform formula, small gx equal to 1 by root 2 pi integral minus infinity to plus infinity capital Gs e to the power minus I s x ds. Also we know that for the function small gx defined in the interval minus infinity to infinity, to have its Fourier transform is that the integral minus infinity to plus infinity mod gx dx must be convergent. Let us now change the notation x to t to introduce the concept of time. Thus, if the integral minus infinity to plus infinity mod gt dt is not convergent, then the Fourier transform capital Gs of the function gt need not exist for real values of s. Now, this situation arises in many cases. For example, if small gt equal to sine sigma t, where sigma is real, then integral minus infinity to plus infinity mod gt dt is not convergent. So, in this case, Fourier transform of sine sigma t does not exist. So, what is the solution? Now, we suppose that a function f t and its derivative f dash t are both piecewise continuous function for all t greater than equal to 0. We define small gt equal to e to the power minus ct f t for t greater than equal to 0 and 0 otherwise, as given by equation 1, where c is a positive real constant. Then obviously integral minus infinity to plus infinity mod gt dt is convergent, so that the Fourier transform of small gt exists. Thus, by Fourier integral theorem, small gt equal to 1 by 2 pi integral minus infinity to plus infinity e to the power minus ist integral minus infinity to plus infinity e to the power I s x gx dx ds, as given by equation 2. Now, using equation 1, we can write equation 2 as e to the power ct by 2 pi integral minus infinity to plus infinity e to the power minus ist integral from minus infinity to plus infinity e to the power I s x gx dx ds. This is equal to small f t for t greater than equal to 0 and 0 otherwise. Again, substituting the value of gx in this x integral, we find ft equal to e to the power ct by 2 pi integral minus infinity to plus infinity e to the power minus ist integral from 0 to infinity e to the power minus x into c minus is fx dx ds. Here t is greater than equal to 0. If we write p equal to c minus is, then we can write ft as ft equal to 1 by 2 pi I integral c minus I infinity to c plus I infinity capital Fp e to the power pt dp, where t greater than equal to 0, and capital Fp is given by integral from 0 to infinity small ft e to the power minus pt dt. Thus, we have derived in a formal manner the transform formula capital Fp equal to 0 to infinity integral e to the power minus pt ft dt as given by equation 3, and this is called Laplace transform of the function small ft and denoted by curl L of ft, and the inverse formula is given by small ft equal to curl inverse capital Fp, and that is equal to 1 by 2 pi I integral c minus I infinity to c plus I infinity capital Fp e to the power pt dt t greater than equal to 0 as given by equation 4, and this is called the inverse Laplace transform formula. Now, an integral of the form given by equation 3 in which the function ft is integrable over the interval 0 capital T for any positive capital T is called the Laplace integral. Number 2, the Laplace integral may not exist for any function small ft. For example, if small ft is equal to e to the power t square, then the integral 0 to infinity e to the power minus pt e to the power t square dt, this is equal to integral 0 to infinity e to the power t minus p by 2 whole square minus p square by 4 dt. This integral is derived after making simplification, and this is equal to e to the power minus p square by 4 integral from minus p by 2 to infinity e to the power u square du, where u is equal to t minus p by 2, and this integral is clearly divergent for all values of p. So, for the function ft equal to e to the power t square, the Laplace integral does not exist. Number 3, for some function ft, the integral from 0 to infinity e to the power minus pt ft dt exists for some values of p but not for others. Example, if we consider small ft equal to e to the power t, then the integral from 0 to infinity e to the power minus pt e to the power t dt, this is the Laplace transform of the function e to the power t, and this is equal to integral 0 to infinity e to the power minus p minus 1 t dt, and this integral is convergent if real part of p is greater than 1, and so the Laplace transform of e to the power t exists if real part of p is greater than 1, and it does not exist if real part of p is less than equal to 1. So, there should be some condition for existence of Laplace transform. Before considering the condition of existence of Laplace transform, let us learn a definition. Let a function f(t) defined for t greater than equal to 0 be piecewise continuous. This function f(t) is said to be of exponential order c if limit t tend to infinity e to the power minus ct f(t) is equal to 0, and it is written as f(t) is of order capital O e to the power ct as t tends to infinity. We may note here that the function e to the power t square considered previously is not of exponential order, since limit t tend to infinity e to the power minus ct into e to the power t square, this tends to infinity for any constant c greater than minus infinity. So, there must be some connection with the existence of Laplace transform and the function f(t) being of exponential order. Now, we come to the existence theorem. It states that if f(t) defined in the interval 0 to infinity is piecewise continuous and is of exponential order, that is f(t) is of order e to the power ct, then Laplace transform capital Fp of small f(t) exists in the half plane real p greater than c. Now, we will prove this theorem. For proof, we know that capital Fp is the Laplace transform of small f(t). So, if we consider modulus value of capital Fp, this is less than equal to integral from 0 to infinity mod of e to the power minus pt ft dt. The integral from 0 to infinity can be broken into two integrals. First integral is from 0 to capital T e to the power minus alpha t mod ft dt plus integral from capital T to infinity e to the power minus alpha t mod ft dt. Here alpha is real part of p and mod of e to the power minus I into imaginary part of p into t is equal to 1. So, we make use of this fact to obtain this expression. Now, here the first integral exists since f(t) is piecewise continuous. Since f(t) is of order e to the power ct, then there exists epsilon for a given capital T such that mod ft e to the power minus ct is less than epsilon for t greater than capital T. Thus, the second integral is less than epsilon into integral capital T to infinity e to the power minus alpha minus c dt, and this integral exists for alpha, which is the real part of p greater than c. So, we see here that if a function small ft is of exponential order, then its Laplace transform exists, that is the integral is convergent. Now, we shall consider few examples. We consider example 1. Here we shall find the Laplace transform of the function e to the power at. As we know that Laplace transform of e to the power at is the integral from 0 to infinity e to the power minus pt into e to the power at dt, and this integral exists for real p greater than a. So that if we perform the integration, then Laplace transform of e to the power at is equal to 1 by p minus a for real p greater than a, and this integral will diverge if real p is less than equal to a. So, Laplace transform of e to the power at exists for real p greater than a. Similarly, if we consider the function f t equal to 1, then its Laplace transform is given by the integral 0 to infinity e to the power minus pt into 1 dt, and this integral can be evaluated as 1 by p for real p greater than 0. So, Laplace transform of the function 1 is equal to 1 by p. Next, in a similar way, we can find Laplace transform of cos omega t is equal to p by p square plus omega square, and Laplace transform of sin omega t is given by omega by p square plus omega square for real p greater than 0. Next, we come to example 4. Here we shall find Laplace transform of 1 by root t, which is given by integral from 0 to infinity e to the power minus pt by root t dt, and this is equal to 2 by root p integral from 0 to infinity e to the power minus x squared dx. Here we have substituted root over pt equal to x, and the last integral can be written in terms of gamma function, and we get Laplace transform of 1 by root t is equal to root over pi by p. In this example, we can observe that the function f t equal to 1 by root t has infinite discontinuity at t equal to 0. Hence, it is not piecewise continuous on the interval 0 to infinity. However, its Laplace transform exists. This example shows that the condition for existence of Laplace transform stated above are sufficient rather than necessary. Next, we consider example 5. Here we shall find out Laplace transform of t to the power gamma, where gamma is greater than minus 1, and this is given by integral 0 to infinity e to the power minus pt t to the power gamma dt, which can be evaluated to be 1 by p to the power gamma plus 1 integral from 0 to infinity e to the power minus u to the power gamma du by substituting u equal to pt and real p greater than 0. The last integral can be evaluated, and the Laplace transform of t to the power gamma is given by gamma of small gamma plus 1 by p to the power gamma plus 1. Here gamma is greater than minus 1 and real part of p is greater than 0. We may note here that for gamma equal to minus 1, the integral 0 to infinity e to the power minus pt dt by t does not exist, so that the Laplace transform of the function 1 by t does not exist. In example 6, we find Laplace transform of cosine hyperbolic at, which according to the definition of Laplace transform integral 0 to infinity e to the power minus pt cos hyperbolic at dt, and which can be evaluated to be p by p square minus a square, where real p greater than a greater than 0. Similarly, Laplace transform of sin hyperbolic at is equal to integral from 0 to infinity e to the power minus pt sin hyperbolic at dt, which can be evaluated to be equal to a by p square minus a square. Here also real part of p is greater than a greater than 0. In example 7, we find Laplace transform of root over t, that is t to the power half, and that is given by integral 0 to infinity e to the power minus pt root over t dt, which can be evaluated to be 1 by twice p root over pi by p. Next is Laplace transform of e to the power minus t square by 4, which is equal to integral from 0 to infinity e to the power minus pt minus t square by 4 dt, and this can be simplified to write e to the power p square integral from 0 to infinity e to the power minus 1/4 t plus 2p whole square dt. Substituting t plus 2p equal to u, this can be written as e to the power p square integral from 2p to infinity e to the power minus u square by 4, which is equal to e to the power p square integral from p to infinity e to the power minus x square dx, and which can be written as root over pi e to the power p square complementary error function p, where the RCP, that is complementary error function, is given by 2 by root pi integral from 0 to infinity e to the power minus x square dx. Next we find out Laplace transform of 1 by root over t plus a, which is given by integral from 0 to infinity e to the power minus pt root over t plus a dt, which can be simplified and can be written as e to the power ap by root over ap integral from ap to infinity e to the power minus x square dx, which is written in terms of complementary error function as root over pi by p e to the power ap RC root over ap, where a is positive. Next we come to a theorem which states that if a function ft defined on the interval 0 to infinity is piecewise continuous and is of exponential order e to the power ct, then its Laplace transform capital Fp tends to 0 as p tends to infinity. For proof, we can write capital Fp as integral from 0 to infinity e to the power minus pt ft dt. Now ft, small ft is of exponential order, that is small ft is equal to order of e to the power ct. So we can find some capital T for any given positive epsilon such that mod of ft e to the power minus ct is less than epsilon when small t is greater than capital T. Now we consider the mod value of capital Fp. This is less than equal to integral from 0 to infinity e to the power minus alpha t mod ft dt plus integral from t to infinity e to the power minus alpha t mod ft dt. Here alpha is the real part of p, and we have broken the integral from 0 to infinity to integral from 0 to t and integral from 0 t to infinity, and we denote these two integrals as I1 and I2. Here I1 is the integral from 0 to capital T e to the power minus alpha t mod f t dt, and which tends to 0 as alpha tends to infinity. And capital I2 is less than equal to epsilon integral from t to infinity e to the power minus alpha minus c t, and which can be evaluated as epsilon into e to the power minus alpha minus c t divided by alpha minus c, and this tends to 0 as alpha tends to infinity. Thus, limit p tends to infinity, capital F p mod is equal to 0. In connection with this theorem, we make the following remark, that this theorem shows that if capital Fp is any function for which limit mod p tends to infinity capital Fp is not equal to 0, then it cannot be Laplace transform of a piecewise continuous function of exponential order. Thus, many functions such as polynomials, e to the power p, sin p, cos p, they do not tend to 0 as mod p tend to infinity. So, they cannot represent the Laplace transform of any function. Next, we come to another theorem regarding Laplace inversion. This theorem states that if capital Fp is an analytic function of complex variable p in the half plane real p greater than c and is of order p to the power minus k, where k is real and k is greater than 1, then the integral 1 by twice pi I integral from c minus I infinity to c plus I infinity capital Fp e to the power pt dp converges to a function small ft which is independent of c and whose Laplace transform is capital Fp for real p greater than c. Furthermore, the function small ft is continuous for t greater than equal to 0 and is of exponential order, that is of order e to the power ct as t tends to infinity. We may note here that capital Fp is of order p to the power minus k in the half plane real p greater than c. This implies that there exists a positive real constant capital M such that mod of p to the power k capital Fp is less than capital M whenever p is sufficiently large. Capital M is a constant. Now we shall prove this theorem. For this, let us suppose small ft and f dash t be continuous functions for 0 less than equal to t less than infinity and ft is of order e to the power ct. Then its Laplace transform exists and is defined by capital Fp equal to integral from 0 to infinity e to the power minus pt small ft dt as given by equation 5, and this exists and is analytic in the half plane real p greater than c. Next, we consider the integral from c minus I lambda to c plus I lambda e to the power pt capital Fp dp as defined in equation 6. Now, we have to show that if lambda tends to infinity, then this integral will converge to the function small ft. Now, in the integral given by 6, that is integral from c minus I lambda to c plus I lambda e to the power pt capital Fp dp, we substitute the value of capital Fp from equation 5, and this gives integral from c minus I lambda to c plus I lambda e to the power pt integral from 0 to infinity e to the power minus pu small fu du dp. Here we interchange the order of integration, and this gives integral from 0 to infinity small f u du, integral from c minus I lambda to c plus I lambda e to the power p t minus u dp. The inner integral can be evaluated, and this gives twice I integral from 0 to infinity small f u e to the power c t minus u sin lambda t minus u divided by t minus u du. This can be written as, if we substitute t minus u as v, this can be written as twice I integral from minus t to plus infinity f of t plus v e to the power minus cv sin lambda v by v dv. Thus, limit lambda tend to infinity 1 by 2 pi I integral from c minus I lambda to c plus I lambda e to the power pt fp dp. This is equal to limit lambda tending to infinity 1 by 2, that is 1 by pi integral from minus t to infinity gv sin lambda v by v dv as given by equation 7. Here gv is f of t plus v into e to the power minus cv. Now, if we can show that the right hand side of integral 7 converges to the function small ft, then our theorem will be proved. For that, we note here that small ft is 0 for t less than 0, so that gv is equal to 0 for v less than minus t. Hence, the integral on the right hand side of equation 7, this integral can be written as limit lambda tending to infinity 1 by pi integral from 0 to infinity gv sin lambda v by v dv plus integral from minus t to 0 gv sin lambda v by v dv. Now, since gv is 0 for v less than minus t, so the second integral can be continued from minus infinity to 0, so that this gives limit lambda tending to infinity 1 by pi integral 0 to infinity gv sin lambda v by v dv plus minus infinity to 0 gv sin lambda v by v dv, so that these two integrals can be combined to give limit lambda tend to infinity 1 by pi integral minus infinity to plus infinity gv sin lambda v by v dv. Now, it is already established in lemma 1 of chapter 6 module 1 that if hx is any piecewise smooth and absolutely integrable function in the interval minus infinity to plus infinity, and x is a point of continuity of hx, then limit lambda tending to infinity 1 by pi integral minus infinity to plus infinity h x plus t sin lambda t by t dt, this gives as hx. So, if I use this result in this integral, we find that this integral is equal to g0, and from the definition of g0 we find g0 is equal to ft. So, from equation 7, that is from this equation, we see that the left hand side is equal to G0, that is Ft. And this is what we wanted to prove, that is lambda tending to infinity Ft is equal to 1 by 2 pi I integral from c minus I infinity to c plus I infinity e to the power Pt capital Fp dp for t positive, and this is the Laplace inversion formula. Now we make the following observations. Number 1, consider the function capital Fp equal to e to the power p square, which is analytic everywhere in the complex p plane. However, it is not of order p to the power minus k for any positive k, and hence cannot represent Laplace transform of a function small ft. Number 2, the conditions on the function capital Fp are sufficient to ensure the validity of the inversion formula. Number 3, for simple function capital Fp equal to 1 by p where real p greater than 0, which is the Laplace transform of the function Ft equal to 1 as we see earlier, for t in the interval 0 to infinity, the condition capital Fp equal to order of p to the power minus k, k greater than 1 is not satisfied. In fact, the conditions on Fp are quite severe. Number 4 is that stating the conditions on the function Ft rather than on capital Fp, these conditions can be relaxed so that the Laplace inverse formula is valid for nearly all practical cases of interest. So, in module 1 of chapter 7, we have learned how Laplace transform can be derived from Fourier integral theorem, and we also learn under what condition Laplace transform of a function exists and how to find its inverse with some example. With this, we conclude module 1 of chapter 7.